7 names, no games as I run it down the line. We got Kenny Ken, put 100 on the tees with the streak for the cash. He ESPN. Seth Curry with the shot. In reality, he's more like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, Eldad or Dirt Ass Dan. Just don't ask him a question, cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the Buck Wild Problem Child.
Flow Butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the league ambassadors, and we playing to win. At the 2-yard line, and make no mistake, we running it in. Pete Carroll, we see you.
Thank you for visiting 32 Kings Road, hosted by the league ambassadors. I'm Ambassador Kenny Ken, and it is my pleasure to be here today with my brothers. This is our golden episode number 32, second season of our show, 32 Kings Road. And on this Halloween night, we are going to look at the scary, unpredictable first half of the NFL season and try to make some sense of it all. As a reminder, you can follow us everywhere on social media. Our handle is @TheLeagueAM. Please visit our website, theleagueam.com, or visit our YouTube channel, League Ambassadors. Shout out to White Jesus, who's with us tonight, Chef Curry. He's got game previews that he writes every week. Shout out to our chief diplomat, Nick Blattman, Diplomatic Immunity. For those of you that are interested in speaking your piece as fans of sport, please visit our website and submit an entry to our blog spot, Diplomatic Immunity. Let's get our show going. Red O, who are you, number one? And two, what you sipping on, brother?
Shout out to the Jabberwockies. Happy Halloween. I'm smiling.
You're a creep.
Yes. It's hard to sip on Hennessy with this mask on, but
see out of that?
I am sipping on Perspective and Karma. Perspective. I was in Soldier Field, Week 1, 2010. That game when Calvin Johnson caught a touchdown to beat the Bears last minute of the game, and the refs turned around and said, it's not a catch, because he didn't play all the way through, and he dropped the ball in the end zone after he caught the ball turned around. Every Bear fan in the stadium was agreeing that it was a catch and that they beat us. But karma comes back because my man almost lost a leg.
Oh, God.
And he caught the ball. And they said it wasn't a catch. And he did more than Calvin Johnson.
His knee did more than Calvin Johnson. Jesus.
Shout out to Zach Miller.
Man, pray for him.
Dad, what you sipping on?
I'm sipping on this Belgian White Blue Moon, and I'm just content right now. You know, I'm happy after all the injuries, all the letdowns, and the flat out sex that the Baltimore Ravens have been producing on the field on Sundays. That we're the only 500 football team in the NFL.
Oh shit!
And we're in control of our own destiny, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right now, there's two divisions that are tied, which is the AFC East and the AFC South. The South, you know, there's the Titans and Jags. Somebody got to win it. Somebody got to lose it because they play each other. And the other team that's ahead of us in the wild card is the Dolphins, who we just beat the dog shit out of. So we got a leg up on them. So things are looking on up and up. People coming back to practice. You know, Joe got knocked the fuck out last week, but he's gonna play. And let's get it. I'm just ready.
Is Woodcock coming back?
Woodcock came back today.
It was a hamstring. They just stretched it out. Pun intended. Junior Blue, what you sipping on, baby?
Well, I'm not as happy as Dev because I am drinking Hennessy, courtesy of the Jabberwocky. But I went into this NFL season thinking Super Bowl. New offensive coordinator, younger, supposed to open up the offense. And what do we get? Captain Checkdown offense? And then what really I'm on Twitter and I see somebody say, is Jack Del Rio the new Jeff Fisher? That ruined my whole weekend.
7
Whole
and 9?
weekend. It's time to go.
Damn, already?
Already. Time to go.
All right, folks. Well, we're 9-8-1 on the teases. I'm barely hanging above 500, but I want you to stay with me.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What is the tease?
What is the tease?
Yeah, what do you mean?
So the tease is
Hey, it's the Golden Show. Let's pretend like it's your first one.
okay. So when I say tease, ladies and gentlemen, there are two things that you can tease. You can either tease the spread or you can tease the game total. And so teasing means move the line. So there is an initial spread that is put out by the bookmakers in Vegas. And when you are participating in sports betting, you have the opportunity to move said line in either direction, up or down. So
You're such a jerk.
I'm going to give you.
That's the most loquacious description of a degenerate activity I've ever heard.
So the first game that we want to tease the spread, and actually want to tease the spread in two games. Seattle, Washington. Washington's flying out to Seattle. That offensive line is beaten up. Seattle right now, the line opened up as a 7-point favorite. Tease the line down to even and pick Seattle to win. They're definitely going to win. Do the exact same thing when you look at the New Orleans and Tampa Bay game. Tampa Bay is going to New Orleans. New Orleans is favored to win by 7. Tampa Bay's defense is bad. Carolina didn't really take advantage of it, but New Orleans certainly will at the Dome. They're favored to win by 7. Tease that game line down 7 for New Orleans to win. And then finally, Les, you'll be happy about this one, Oakland, Miami. Miami's got some turbulence. And Oakland competed well in Buffalo. Well, it was a close enough game. No, it wasn't.
3 quarters.
Yeah.
But they're going to beat Miami is what I'm saying. They're right now 3 or 4 point favorites to win. Tease that line down 7 for them to lose by 3. Miami is going to lose at home. Oakland is going to win on the road. So once again, that's New Orleans versus Tampa Bay, Seattle versus Washington. Tease those spreads down from 7 to 0 and take Seattle to win, take New Orleans to win, and then take Oakland. Tease their favorite to win by 4. Tease that down 7 to 3. Pick Oakland, put $100 down. Thank the league ambassadors. We're going 3-0 this week. Chef Curry,
What's up, guys?
what you sipping on, baby?
Well, I'll start off by saying it sounds like the 4 of you all have something in common. You all need some prayer, some of that good word. You got to lift your spirits up, Les. Come on, man.
All right, we just got Altuve out, so I'm happy now.
Well, just so you guys know, I'm sipping on this wine that used to be water. Gotta thank Pops for them gifts. But today, as Les segued into, we're gonna talk about baseball. It's definitely been a while since the league ambassadors covered such topic, but with what's been going on this week and right now, the baseball season could very well end tonight, guys. I'm sure at least 3 of you guys in that room don't want to hear that.
Fuck you talking
after,
about?
After the Houston Astros won the most entertaining baseball game that personally I've ever seen, it seemed like there was a hint of divine intervention on the field. Maybe some angels in the outfield, if you get where I'm going with this.
Shut up, Jesus.
But no, that game, whether you have a dog in the fight or not, it was. I mean, the storylines were ridiculous. You had the guy Springer from the Astros who made that terrible play in center field, but came back his next at bat, first pitch, hit a home run. Altuve's made his stamp on this series as the American League MVP. Clayton Kershaw, who we'll get to, but I mean, him in and of itself is a story. And even the Astros fan who went full on Judas, Debo and his man for the baseball, and throwing it back out on the field. It was a night to be sitting in front of TV watching baseball. So I'm going to start by putting it to you guys. Was Game 5 the best baseball game any of you've ever seen?
I'll say because I don't have any bias. I enjoyed the hell out of that damn game. I'm not going to say it's one of the best. It wasn't the best played game, but as far as excitement goes, just the back and forth, the way that we knew what was going to happen. Even when the Astros went up 12-9 and the Dodgers got their base hit in the ninth, we knew what the hell was going to happen. And I couldn't imagine the nerves or the ups and downs of my compadres being a fan of that. But the shit was amazing to me.
Fuck the Padres. He said, oh, yeah, okay.
The Padres?
He
Yeah.
said, come Padres.
Oh. Wow. Okay. But
Keon's just mad.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's just mad and angry.
It was-
But I mean, I think that it's good for baseball. It actually beat Sunday night as far as ratings, which it hadn't done in a while.
Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football, yeah. Second biggest game 5 as far as ratings since 2003. I mean, the game was 5 hours and 17 minutes, and most of the time you turn those off, but I missed all my Sunday shows for that shit.
I want to know what Kenyon thinks.
It's quiet. That's Kenyon. It's fine. We're gonna get to your
Take your bias out of it.
To add, we're gonna get there. To add to Devin's point, though, the Astros came back 3 different times, which was amazing. I think the only team to ever do that.
Shit wasn't
in the World
amazing. Get
Series
out of here with that bullshit.
Was the Blue Jays in 1993. But we'll open the floor up to some Dodger bias.
It
here.
wasn't nothing amazing about it. Whatever.
Because y'all lost.
It was bad managing.
If you guys would have won, it'd be a different story.
We didn't win, so it's, you're trying to change the fact.
But to your point, and I'm going to throw it to you three, as a Dodger fan, I'm sure that had to have been hard to stomach. Omar, you said it while we were all talking about the game, that you just had no emotion left. But after a game after losing a game like that, is there blame to go around for that team? And if so, well, for that game specifically. If so,
Now it's Kenyon's turn.
Yes. Thanks for that setup.
Oh man, let me just say, first of all, to your point about not having any emotion and just the excitement, I literally I had heart palpitations. I haven't been that emotionally invested in a sporting event since 2000 Lakers, and I was a teenager. You know what I mean? Actually just and literally it was a roller coaster.
Not the Rose Bowl or Game 7?
Hold up. We got audio of you doing Kobe's 60 points.
No, but I'm talking about what I'm talking about is it really feeling it because it was such a roller coaster. Now, having said that,
There is blame to go around.
Dave Roberts, man, Dave Roberts. I'm infuriated with, actually. I think baseball is not rocket science. It's not difficult, and I just think he's overmanaged, and it's really disappointing because we've spent all season, even before this season, the Nerds have put together a remarkable team, addressed every sort of issue, and for you now to get to the big stage and overmanage, pulling pitchers too early, wearing out your bullpen, saying you're not going to use certain relief pitchers because you knew that they were physically taxed, and then going against that. The bunt. Let's talk about the bunt in that inning. I believe it was in the 7th or 8th inning, whatever inning it was, and we were up. It felt desperate. It's like we had one out and a guy on second with one out. Let him take his swing. Why are you trying? And then the lead runner, which I can't remember who it was. I think it was Justin Turner. Justin Turner was on second. The lead runner ends up going out. Why are you calling a bunt in that situation? Just desperate. You're reaching.
You moved the runner over. It was a bad bunt. It was a high pitch. And
We have not had a problem hitting the ball in it. Neither team has had a problem hitting the ball in this series. Especially in Houston. Let him take his swing. We were in the lead at that point. It's desperate. It's overreach. It's overmanaging. And the thing is this, and I think I said it before, we've seen this. We've seen this in the playoffs before with different managers where the moment gets tense, it's a big spot, Joe Girardi did the same thing last series. So it's not like it's anything that's new, but it's just frustrating as a fan to see when your manager does it, not once, but twice. 2 games he's blown in this series.
Stop trying to be slick and just play baseball like we've been playing all year.
All year.
All of a sudden, you want to get slick.
Right. Agreed.
Okay. Well, Les, he's loquacious.
My thing, everything Kenyon said, I just can't believe that when someone is rolling as a pitcher, Why pull him?
Twice.
Speak on it.
Game 2.
Speak on
Exactly. He did it tonight. He did it tonight too.
Speak
Rich
on it.
Hill rolling. 58 pitches in the, I think it was the 6th inning today. And he pulls, 5th inning. And he pulls him for what reason?
Let's talk about that narrative of how Rich Hill through the third time through the lineup is not good when that's a
lie. Yeah.
biggest lie in the league. He's actually better through the third time through the lineup. So lead that man in the game.
And that puts all year we've been going 5-6 innings with our starters. Okay, let's follow that. So that means we have Morrow in the 8th, Jansen in the 9th. That's how we've been winning all season long. Why change that now? Is nerves just get to you?
You let Rich Hill pitch a complete game in which we hadn't scored a run.
Understood. Well, I can definitely tell. Let's thank the instigator, but if you swing first.
Solo home run. Solo home
Did we
run.
just hit a home run?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
While I got you guys all riled up and ready to sin, we're gonna address the elephant in the room here, and it's Matthew Stafford's homeboy, Clayton Kershaw. And if you
we
guys
still
remember
talking about
over the
this shit?
If you guys remember over the summer, confirmation bias, we brought this up that he may serve as the gift and the curse for the Dodgers come postseason. He's allowed a home run in 10 consecutive starts. He's allowed the most home runs in a single postseason than anyone in MLB history. And if you ask me, someone on the outside looking in, he's quickly becoming baseball's Peyton Manning in terms of his postseason performance. So,
who hit the home run?
You guys are close to it. What's
I'll be happy with Jock Peterson. Okay. I'll be happy with 2 titles though, just to let you know if he's Peyton. I'll be happy with 2 World Series titles.
Yeah, honestly, I'm upset with Dave Roberts. I'm just disappointed with Clayton Kershaw. And the disappointment lies in the fact that, particularly in Game 5, you had 2 opportunities to settle yourself. And maybe, to piggyback off of the Dave Roberts issue, maybe it would have been nice for Dave Roberts to come out there at some point just to settle the pitcher. Never did that. But on Clayton Kershaw, we were up 3-0, up 4-0. And he comes out in the 4th inning trying to throw the ball literally through the catcher. You could see he was worked up. I mean, literally to the point where he would miss a spot and then turn around and scream like a maniac on the mound. I've never seen that. Control yourself. Then we get up 7-4. Again, another opportunity to settle yourself, to restart.
Kenya.
It's disappointing that you're getting paid $250 million and you can't take 20,000 of those dollars and go see a sports shrink and get your life and mind right.
Kenyon, do you remember what I told you before the World Series?
What's that?
I will no longer call him the best pitcher in the world because if you're getting paid $250 million and somebody's out pitching you, you can't be called that. It's that simple. And they call him the best pitcher in the world, and he's truthfully all season he has not been. He's never been in the playoffs. And this is the World Series. This is when the money is due. This is when the rent is due. And he bounced a check. It's time to be evicted.
What's a god to a non-believer? All right. Well, our last topic in terms of the World Series goes is in Game 3. Astros third baseman Yuli Gurriel, a Cuban, hit a home run off of Dodgers Yu Darvish, who is a Japanese man. And when he got to the dugout, Mr. Gurriel made a disgusting, which I'll call it, just flat out disgusting, racial gesture by stretching his eyelids back to imitate the Asian phenotype. And MLB punished him by suspending him for the first 5 games of 2018 and not suspending him for any games during the World Series. So I'm going to put it to you guys. I'll go to you, Devin. What does this say, MLB's decision to not suspend him for the World Series? What does this say about not just baseball, but pro sports as a whole in terms of how they address racial issues? And do you think he should have been suspended for...
That's a loaded question.
That's a super loaded question. I'm going to stick to the...
It's loaded.
Yeah. All right. So basically, the reason why he's being punished in the upcoming season is because when you get suspended, you get fined game checks. There are no game checks in the postseason. So that's the most simplest way to do that. Plus, he would have tried to...
Which is idiotic.
Right. So anytime you get any sort of suspension like that in any sport, and unless it's physical or that egregious, they're not going to do anything within the postseason.
So how do they get paid? Like
They
how-
get
get
you get
bonuses.
bonuses.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Not the fact that they
You
get
get a bonus
bonuses.
per round
The
that
fact
you
that he didn't get
advance.
suspended because okay, you should get suspended plus you get suspended next year if that's the case.
And
like
one-
you shouldn't get because you benefited from it. Like it's the World Series,
One of
and you
the
did that
reasons-
shit in the World Series.
One of the reasons they said was we didn't want to punish the rest of the team.
You're not
That was
punishing
an
the rest of the
actual-
team. You're punishing him.
That's an
Well, that's
actual
by
reason.
punishment.
Though.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's. a
And
little-
that's an interesting. And I don't, we don't have to spend too much time on this because we're way over with it. But it is sort of an interesting thing though. Like I'm not necessarily that mad at that. Like that logic that says like in this big of a situation. He made a mistake. I mean, it'd be different if it was like cheating on the field. If like something that impacted the game.
Or,
then I'm like, okay, yeah, you
fight.
need to be suspended or fighting or something
Come
like
on,
that.
man. In the climate that we in right now, and the matter of fact, the shit that
not
really
a
pissed
mistake.
me off is the fact that those goddamn Houston fans acted like assholes the next game and was doing the same thing he was doing all
the
up
crowd.
through in the crowd.
No
Man,
doubt.
we're
What
Texas, bro.
And exactly.
No doubt. What the action was
Matter of fact, let's get to the Brexit Bootbag.
was
talk about
was
Texas.
reprehensible. No doubt the action was reprehensible. But I'm just saying when I heard that out there, like I don't want to punish the whole team. I mean, because we could take that across a lot of sports. It's just like, I think we've touched on this before. Like, where is that line drawn where it's like you're being punished for being socially irresponsible versus on field sort of crimes. You know what I mean? It's an interesting thing. So I'm not gonna say that I'm that upset that the suspension got punted till next season. It's an interesting thing, but.
I mean, it would have been nice if he would have got suspended.
Because he showed it home runs after the fact.
Right.
All right, so we want to do a mid-season recap. We're halfway through the NFL season.
Halfway through the episode.
And so everyone has a division like we always do. This time, though, we have the same divisions that we had for when we did our season preview. And that's because, there are 4 questions we want to answer. First one, biggest takeaway thus far in your respective division. Who is the MVP of your division? What has been the biggest surprise? And then the reason why we each have our same divisions from when the season began, from our season preview, is because it's Halloween. And so what we want to do is we want to dress up our ugliest predictions from the beginning of the season. And so the question posed to you guys is, I know I said this, but what I really meant to say was that. And so we'll start with the NFC South. Junior Blue, it's you. And so first question, your biggest takeaway from the NFC South division thus far?
The fact that when we did the preview show, we had a couple reasons why the Falcons could struggle, right? And it could be the 28-3 fog they were still in, or it could be the alcoholic.
That is funny.
The alcoholic OC that they have. And really my biggest takeaway is that OC is worse than the fog. Because Julio Jones has 1 touchdown. How can't you get that man the ball? How is that offense struggling when it's the same offense they coming back with no major injuries?
Okay.
Because it's not the same offense.
Touche. Who's the MVP of the NFC South thus far?
Ooh, they don't have one, honestly.
Wow.
I mean,
No one?
No one. Just think about all the
Adrian Peterson?
exactly. So, I mean, if you had to give it to one, the Saints lead, so you can give it to Breeze. But honestly, no quarterbacks, running backs, the defenses suck. I mean, there is
The
no
Saints
one
defense is actually
Saints
really
no,
good.
no. Time out.
I
They
don't
are not.
agree.
Wait.
I don't agree.
They are not that good.
Thank you.
When you look at team, let's look at it. They have played some horrible offenses. They gave up 17 points or less to the Dolphins, the Bears, Brett Hundley's Packers, and the Panthers. You know what they gave up to Detroit? 38 points. They gave up to the Patriots 36 points. They even gave up 29 points to the Vikings. So their offense isn't that good. Their defense isn't that good.
Comparatively speaking to other defenses they had, it's better. Yeah. So it looks better.
It looks better, but it's not good.
Well, I feel like they're actually top 10 in turnovers. They're actually one of the teams, or they're basically tapping into the same formula of when they went to the Super Bowl in 2004, which was takeaways. And so, yeah, they may not be a stout defense, and absolutely right. I think that that the defense compared to previous Saints defenses has struggled. But you look at Marshawn Lattimore, who is already today the number 2 corner as a rookie according to PFF Focus. Kenny Vaccaro, you got Cameron Jordan.
He's like the 101st
because they sure lost last week. I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
Let me ask you this though:
the Chicago Bears.
Is there anything that the Bucs can do with Jameis Winston? Because they've spent $33 million on Deshaun Jackson, and they're not getting anything from him. And it's on Jameis. He's not playing well.
It is on Jameis because they have weapons, and they just got to play his whole shit out. That's all they really can do.
Wow.
Defense is barking at Mike too. Mike, was it Mike Nolan?
Mm-hmm. Mike Smith.
Yes. They and he's a good defensive coordinator, right?
Yeah, but they're struggling.
They don't have talent though. They got Gerald McCoy, nobody else. Let's move to the NFC West. Dad, you've got the NFC West. Give me your biggest takeaway thus far in that division.
The biggest takeaway is that this division used to be the best division in football, and buddy, it's not anymore. I said in the preview that the division hinged on Carson Palmer, and we also wanted to see what David Johnson was going to do, and will the defense bounce back for them? The answer is no for all of that shit. So my biggest takeaway is just the talent level in the division has completely depleted.
I'm going to apologize. Let's stay right there with the NFC West. Got to come back to Junior Blue because we got to find out what's his biggest surprise, and we also got to find out what he wants to fix because it is Halloween. What's your biggest surprise for the NFC South?
My biggest surprise is the Saints topping the division at 5-2.
Really?
That's my biggest surprise because I had them booked for the bottom.
All right.
And basically, I said they were booked for the bottom, but the Bucs is prime for that position now.
Now let's go.
back. Okay, Dad. MVP of your division?
Only on Halloween.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson
by far.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at, he's got 2,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, 4 picks, and he's doing it with that O-line and that running game.
Mm-hmm. What's been the biggest surprise for you in the first half?
The biggest surprise has been your Los Angeles Rams.
On the way with McVay.
Yeah. I can't wait for Chaney.
Yeah. Okay, let's stay with the Rams. Let me ask you this question. If the playoffs were today, the Rams would be in. Do you think that holds up, Dad?
Let me see. Because I'm looking at
hurting his soul to say
the other divisions.
Dad.
No, so all right.
Dad, this is
so there's one coming out the East.
Okay.
Then in the South, it's still tight. It's tight between 3 teams. And then there's we'll talk about the North, but they have a shot legitimately.
There's one coming out the North.
I know you said what?
I know I said the Rams aren't ready. They have no QB, no wide receiver, and they need to be more creative on offense. But goddamn it, what I meant to say was
they are on the way with McVay.
They got the second highest scoring team in the conference.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
At one point, they were the highest in the league.
In the league, yeah. They came back to earth a little bit, but yeah, that's. I know what I said.
And they still can't get Sammy Watkins the ball.
They don't need to get Sammy Watkins the ball.
Cooper Kupp.
I told you he's going to be an assistant coach no matter what.
All right, the NFC East. We'll all chime in on the NFC East. First question, what's been the biggest surprise? Myself, Kev, and Dev all said the New York Giants, some variation of that. Kev, why was the New York Giants a big surprise for you?
Just because of they were building on what they did last season with that defense that we thought was going to be elite. The pieces they had on offense, Brandon Marshall, they had Odell Beckham on the outside. We just thought that offense was finally going to click, that they would have some resemblance of a run game. And
adding Evan Ingram.
Happened.
Yeah.
It never happened.
Yeah. I said the Giants as well, but I said I'm surprised that the Giants actually have a win. That game at Denver not only blew several of my parlays, but it was a complete shock.
I wasn't surprised. Look at Denver.
Omar and Les said, though, that their biggest surprise was the Philadelphia Eagles. Redo?
I didn't think they would be as good as they were, as good as they are. And like, my whole mind has changed. I'm sitting here picking them every week now. You know what I mean? Like, and that shit hurts.
Junior Blue, are they the best team in football?
Right now, they have to be.
Uh-oh.
I mean, offensively, we'll talk about them.
Yeah.
But defensively, they're going to stop you.
They have the best run defense in the league. They only average
Third.
The best run defense in
Denver.
No. Set as of this week, they are 70.3. They are in the lead, and they are at Denver's 3.8. They are averaging 3.2.
We'll check that at stats.
All right. I didn't check StatSync. It was ESPN, so I don't know if.
Kareem Hunt did go off.
All right, biggest takeaway. All of us, with the exception of Dev, are in agreement with it, and that is that Mr. Ezekiel Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys probably should have just taken that suspension. and let me venture to say, guys, I believe we all said that because the upcoming schedule is going to be hellacious. Is that what it is? Am I on the same page with that? Are we on the same right track?
You can't fight the commish.
I mean, he saw what happened to Brady. I mean, does he think he's Brady?
No, he's definitely not. And they played the Eagles twice.
Yeah,
They played the Eagles twice. And the other thing is you look at their wins that they had, they're 4-3. They beat a bad Giants team, they beat a bad Niners team, and they beat a basically bad Arizona Cardinals team. They could have got those wins without Ezekiel. Now is when they actually need him. Dad, what was your biggest takeaway?
That the two best teams in the division have the two youngest quarterbacks. If you look at Eli, who's a borderline Hall of Famer, no matter what anybody says, it's a conversation. And you have Captain Kirk, who can't wait to get out of 695, but it's Dak and it's Wentz both in their second year.
Yeah.
Captain Kirk ain't going nowhere.
I'm about to say, we got to ask where he going now.
You know why he ain't going nowhere? Because if they
drop Garoppolo?
No. Well, yes.
We got to ask where he going.
But even if they
to go.
franchise him, he's going to get paid $30 million next year.
I don't think they can franchise him again.
Yeah,
They got one more
they
time.
can. They
got one more
they
time.
could. I don't think that they will though. And yeah, we will talk about Kirk Cousins. I do have that as a question a little bit later on. But yeah, I think Cousins is gone. I think it's an interesting point, Dev, that Wentz has been spectacular. I think we all said that he's the MVP of the division. Is he the league MVP at this point?
At this point, yes.
At this point,
Yeah, Carson Wentz. Okay, and then the final question for the divisions where we're all talking about is a question about the playoffs. We know one team has to get in.
It.
Yeah. There's no other team getting in, huh?
Nah.
Jesus? No?
No,
And
no
Jesus
way.
spoke. Say amen.
All right, let's move to the NFC North. Again, we're all tackling this one. We've got biggest surprise. All of us, myself, Kevin, Dev, all said the same thing. Mr. Case Keenum, the Vikings leading the division. What has stood out to you most about the Vikings, Dev?
The thing that stood out, the thing that stood out to me about the Vikings is just the fact that they are leading the division. Case Keenum has played well. He's not turning the ball over, especially since they've lost, who seemed to be a stud, Dalvin Cook
Absolutely.
early on, and they've been able to right the ship with the three backup running backs.
Omar, what's been your biggest surprise in the NFC North?
Akeem Hicks.
Junior Blue he's on the Bears train as well.
I'm actually surprised. There's no way in the world I thought they'd be 3-5 at this time of the season.
We tried to tell you.
And also with
Because they should be. I'm sorry. Let me stop.
and 3-5 3 of the games they lost by less than by a touchdown or less.
2 of them
Yeah.
they actually won, but it's cool. Let's keep going.
But that was my biggest surprise.
All right. Biggest takeaway. Kev, what was your biggest takeaway for the NFC North?
Is that I strongly believe the Vikings will be the only team that finishes over 500 in this division.
In that division.
And I can't even say if Aaron Rodgers is healthy that the Vikings aren't still the best team, or if not, maybe a game behind. They're just playing good football, and everybody else is still missing parts.
What's your biggest takeaway, Redo?
Akeem Hicks.
That was your biggest takeaway.
Biggest takeaway is that the Bears are actually fine. They just need someone who can run down the field, turn around, and catch the ball.
And
Hey,
catch
who got
the ball.
traded at the deadline today?
Calvin Benjamin, a wide receiver.
Where did he get traded to?
Not to the Bears. Les, what's your biggest takeaway?
Mine is that with a backup quarterback, backup running back, the Minnesota Vikings offense is still rolling to where their defense isn't getting worn out like last year.
Shout out to Pat Shurmur. He's figured something out. My biggest takeaway is Aaron Rodgers.
Because they took him away.
Because they took him away, which leads us into the MVP discussion. Dad, who is your MVP for the NFC North?
Aaron Rodgers.
And why is that?
Well, because he gone. And he's the most valuable person in the league, and now it's wide open.
All right. Well, my MVP for the NFC North is Anthony Barr.
And why is that?
Because he got taken. He took out Aaron Rodgers.
He took him away.
He took him away.
On some cowgirl.
Kev, who's your MVP for the NFC North?
Everson Griffin by far. He's carrying that defense, which is starting to look like if not top 3, maybe the league's best. He has a sack in every game this year, which I think is that pass rush is the reason why they can carry that offense that isn't necessarily performing as well, but they're not asking him for much.
Shout out to the USC Trojans, Mr. Everson Griffin. I believe, Les, that was your also MVP as well, huh?
10 sacks through 7 games, 2 forced fumbles. You watch that team play, and he jumps off the
everywhere.
screen. He's dominant.
Dominant.
Yeah.
Let me take a guess. Redo,
Everybody now?
Akeem Hicks is Redo's
Hey, I will say
MVP.
that, I mean, regardless of anything, that man is playing out of his where he was playing before. No one knew he was going to play this good. He is balling out of control.
Playoff question. Only one team's coming out of this division for the playoffs.
Yep.
Kevin's hemming and hawing, and so is Devin.
I mean, I think the Lions, they do play the Packers, the Browns, and the Bears twice down the stretch.
And they might not beat the Bears once.
They might. That's why I said it's tough.
Because y'all talking about the Vikings defense, but the Bears defense has been playing
We know.
astronomical in the last
we
year.
know.
Hey,
I said my takeaway was the Bears are fine. Okay, Omar.
I said, wait a minute. Come back.
Yeah, just come back.
Let me ask you guys something. Is 8-8? Is 8-8 going to get in the playoffs? In the playoffs this year, the NFC.
NFC.
I mean, it's a lot of questionable teams.
possible,
yeah.
Since
definitely.
the Bears are going to be 8-8, does that mean we get in the playoffs? then?
Oh my God! Let's move on to the AFC South.
I got the bet. We'll see.
AFC South. Kev, that's you, baby. Give me your MVP.
My MVP is Mr. Deshaun Watson, and I think we can all
Yes.
be in agreement with that guy. After struggling the first 2 games of the season, he's been just on a tear. 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 103 quarterback rating, over 60% completion percentage. His 19 touchdowns is the most by any player in their first 7 games. I think if he limits his turnovers, he's only had 2 games where he didn't throw a pick, but man, that kid is legit, man.
He'll get. Yeah, I agree with you, Dad. I think he'll get there. I think a lot of that is just seeing defenses you've never seen. It's definitely on the job training, but his learning curve is spectacular.
Yeah,
Ask
Richard
the
Sherman.
Seahawks.
Yeah, Richard Sherman said
Yeah.
he's the best quarterback. he's
Peyton
ever
Manning
faced.
had 7 TDs over the same time period.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Kev. Right now, the Houston Texans are not in the playoff chase. If they win that division, is Deshaun Watson the MVP?
It's hard to say that with Carson Wentz standing right there. I mean, let's say the Eagles go 14-2, 13-3, and he's playing the way that he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm sorry, you meant of that division?
No. I'm in of the league. I'm in of the
Of the league. He has a chance, but I think right now it's Carson Wentz.
I mean, you look at that defense. They lost J.J. Watt. There's a lot of injuries. Brian Cushing is on his annual suspension. That secondary, perennial. He's a perennial offender.
Suspender.
He's a habitual offender.
Talk about white privilege,
right? And we saw the secondary on Sunday is atrocious. I mean, if they win that division with the defense that Jacksonville has, we know what Jacksonville's playbook is run the ball and stop the run. Tennessee has been a disappointment. I mean, it's something to consider. Give me your biggest takeaway thus far in that division, Kev.
My biggest takeaway is that Houston, who will win this division, won't win 10 games. I think they win it at either 8-8, 9-7. They're 3-4 right now, but only 4 of their remaining games they facing teams who currently have winning records. So I think Houston runs away with it.
Give me your biggest surprise.
Well, I'm not surprised by anything because Pop's will is Pop's way. If I have to pick
It took me a second too. I had to look up like, oh, okay. Thought he was talking about Slug.
I would, hey, that's another discussion. I would say it's Tennessee's inconsistency, and I think it starts with Marcus Mariota. He has been hurt. I mean, that definitely plays a factor, but they just haven't been a team we thought they would be.
Let's hope it continues.
Healthy.
One more week. Let's hope it continues into this weekend.
I'm asking for it tonight, and all I gotta do is go upstairs.
Oh, this shit is awesome.
But no, he's 4-1. The Titans are 4-1 in games where Mariota starts and finishes. But the thing that shocks me the most is it with Mariota, with DeMarco Murray, with Derrick Henry in the backfield, they can't run the football. They've only surpassed 100 yards 4 times this season out of the 7 games that they played. I'm shocked by that. We thought that would be their one strength. But for some reason, it's not working out for them.
All right. I know I said this, but I really meant that. Kevin?
I know I said that the Jags would only win 6 games. What I meant was they're going to win 7 games. Because here's what they have down the stretch. They're 4-3 right now. Their next 5 games are against Cincy, the Chargers, at Cleveland, at Arizona, and then they play Indy. They're winning 3, if not 4 of those, and then they're going to just lose down the stretch. But I'll give Jacksonville maybe 1 game, if not 2 more than I originally picked. But Blake Bortles, I mean, the fuck.
But he hasn't been. You know what he's done a good job of? He's done a good job of staying out of the way. He hasn't been in the way.
Manager.
Yeah, they've added Marcel Darius now to address their one glaring issue, weakness, which was stopping the run. Surprisingly, a team that has such a good defense, they were getting gashed on the run. Marcel Darius is going to change that, being in between Malik Jackson and Calais Campbell. I mean,
Yeah, hey, Calais Campbell may very well win Defensive Player of the Year, so that definitely helps a quarterback who is inept, to say the least.
All right, I'm going to go over your favorite division, Dev and Kev. That's the AFC North. MVP, Steelers defense. Top 5 offense has been expected, but they also have a top 5 defense, and they're starting the round in the form. Ben Roethlisberger hasn't been perfect. I think Juju Smith, again,
on that beat.
Another USC Trojan, is starting to emerge as a secondary option. Le'Veon Bell, it took him a while. He had his preseason. He's now in regular season form. But that defense has been outstanding. Cameron Hayward. In the secondary, a very young secondary led by Artie Burns is dominant. And they're playing really good football. I think that's the MVP of the division. My biggest surprise has been how competitive the Cincinnati Bengals have been.
After 3 weeks.
It took them a while. They lost by 3 to the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. They only lost by 4 to the Texans. The Steeler game was a 4th quarter game. They've beaten a good Bills team. And at 3-4, they're in the hunt. And, we're going to get to it later with I know I said this, but I really meant that. Marvin Lewis is actually supposed to be getting fired this week. And instead, I
told y'all he wasn't getting fired.
Just rolling along.
My biggest takeaway, though, is Ozzie Newsome. He's got an interesting offseason ahead. when you look at the cap situation, got to address the offense all the way around. Receivers, Alex Collins, I remember I told you, Dev, I said, if you guys make it to the playoffs, he was going to be your starting back. But still, I don't know if you're putting all your hope on Alex Collins. And then you've got some Joe Flacco questions to answer, I think. I think Ozzie Newsome has an interesting offseason ahead of him, regardless of how the season ends. And then as far as I know I said this, but I meant that. I know I said that Cincinnati would be booked for the bottom. But what I really meant to say was that the Cleveland Browns fucking suck. They fucking suck. And
Poor Hugh.
Listen.
They were giving quarterbacks.
They're giving quarterbacks. They can't even when they had a deal for AJ McCarron today. They couldn't even do that right.
Ken, I gotta ask you, what were you seeing? What was it 2 weeks ago when you thought that they would win a game before the Giants in the 49? Like, what about Cleveland?
Bringing up old shit.
Well, no. It's
Halloween.
No,
This is
fair.
a segment
It's
for
it's a fair question. They still are playing hard for you. What is just becoming apparent though is they missed
To
on.
you.
They have really missed on the quarterback. I mean, and it's
become apparent.
well, I understood.
They're the ones with the jersey, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
They listen.
Tim Brokaw.
I understood the philosophy and Hughes' approach with Deshaun Kaiser. It hasn't worked out that way, and it's funny. But you look at what Dabo Swinney said about Deshaun Watson coming out, that he's going to be the Michael Jordan of football. And it's fine, like that might have been a little bit of hyperbole. But the thing about college coaches, and I'm going somewhere with this, is that it's their job to tell the truth, to evaluate. That's what they do.
Deshaun Kaiser's coach,
Brian Kelly, said that he wasn't ready.
Nah, son. This is not for you.
This is not for you.
He was talking about the wrong Deshaun.
So, anyway, that's the NFC North. Let's go to the AFC West. Red O, give me your biggest takeaway thus far.
Biggest takeaway?
Yes.
Unless there's an injury, Patrick Mahomes will not play a game this year.
Yeah. So then let me ask, who's your MVP in the division?
Mr. Hunt.
Oh, I thought you were going Alex Smith.
Nah, 763 yards, 5.2 yards a carry.
Yeah.
As a rookie.
Yeah.
No one knew who the hell he was.
Out of Toledo. Shout out to Mac Football on Thursday nights. ESPN. Okay, well then give me your biggest surprise.
The 3-5 Raiders.
Okay.
Easy.
Agreed.
They were thought to be Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, drilling down into that, I'm with you, Dev. Amari Cooper
He's had
specifically is
one
the
good
biggest
game.
surprise.
Hey, it won me a whole week though.
200 yards and 2 touchdowns to do that.
All right, I know
He won me $40 on fantasy. On
FanDuel.
Yeah.
All right, I know I said this.
I know I said the league needs more young hoes. But the old hoes are getting all that now. We're going to leave it at that.
It's really good, Red O. All right, AFC East, everybody. Biggest surprise. I believe we were unanimous about it being. Oh, there was one. We did have one. Red O. All of us, with the exception of Red O, I believe, said the Buffalo Bills.
No, I said the Jets.
Oh, you said the Jets as well. Okay, so Les and Red O said the Jets. First of all, the Buffalo Bills, they are tied for first. Sean McDermott, first-year head coach, balling. That.
And they just got a wide receiver.
They were
6'5", 260 pounds.
Like I said, it's an inside job.
They just got Kelvin. So I mean that's good. I mean it's Tyrod Taylor is the #1 football quarterback. He's hot sauce.
Which is funny because he's surprisingly
skip to my loop.
I know where you're going with that, but he's surprisingly risk averse.
But what I mean by that, like
He's getting out the way.
He's risk averse because he's able to get out the way with the #1 shit.
Yeah,
that can't nobody do.
Yeah. I wonder how Kelvin Benjamin is actually going to fit with them, because Kelvin Benjamin wants you to kind of just lob it up there, and that's not really Tyrod Taylor's way. Kev?
Yeah, and to add to Devin's point, Tyrod's the one black quarterback that nobody's talking about. And I think it's unfortunate, but I also think we should credit, and I'm not to bring my own bias into this, but I think we should credit the time he spent in Baltimore as a backup, actually learning. No, think about it. How many guys get thrusted out there and don't perform well? Tyrod had time to learn. He got that 1 year when he was there where he struggled, didn't have weapons, and then now you see the progression in his game. I think we have to tip our hat to him.
That's one of those classic football arguments and debates is when you get the young ones, unless you're surefire number one, when you get those young quarterbacks, what do you do?
Yeah.
Do you play them? Do you let them sit? And yeah, to your point, Tyrod is a case for let them sit and learn category. Red, you were going to say something?
No.
Okay, you guys had the Jets as your biggest surprise.
The reason why I say that is because the world, the universe thought the Jets were tanking, and Bunny said no, we're not.
Yeah.
Bunny said we were doing addition by subtraction, getting rid of these bad seeds, and we're gonna play football.
Shout out to Todd Bowles, Junior Blue.
Yeah, they got 3 wins. I didn't. They would one.
Hey, and they should have had 4.
And they should have had 4.
They got robbed.
Yeah.
They got robbed.
So I mean, that's my biggest.
Biggest takeaway to piggyback off of that is Todd Bowles is a legit head coach.
That man can coach.
And I believe Dev had something different, but we were all
I
I
had that.
Oh, you had that.
I just said Bunny said fuck that tank.
Yeah, fuck the tank. Amsterdam is real.
Yeah.
All of the
I
above.
want my job.
Shout out to the Wire.
Hey, I don't trust you, white man. You might fire me. So I'm gonna coach my ass off.
He was gonna get fired.
Yeah.
Okay, MVP. Kev, who's your MVP for that division?
Bill Belichick, by far. I don't even think this is a conversation. He's coaching one of the least talented Patriot teams in a while, and they're 6-2, undefeated on the
5-2.
road. Somehow Tom Brady doesn't get touched, and he's like 60 years old by now. It's just he keeps figuring out ways to keep this machine moving, and I hate it.
Redo, who's your MVP?
Josh McCown.
Hey man, I thought about that, Red.
I mean, first of all, that's one of the reasons why we thought they were tanking. And he's out there playing like an NFL starter.
Well, we said week 1 he was out there fucking up the money, but we didn't know what they was trying to do.
They're out there trying to win.
Yeah.
Dev?
I had Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, that line is suspect. He's getting the ball out in record speed. Everything's a dump down.
It's the system, yo.
It is. Look at Brissett. Man, it just goes on and on and on.
He's so good, in fact, that they finally decided to give up Jimmy Garoppolo. They were like, all right, Tom, we believe you. You're going to be here till you're 50. Les.
Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, he's leading the league in yards, 3rd in touchdowns, and Edelman's his backup. He better be the MVP.
I said LaShawn McCoy. Shady, they don't have much on offense. Tyrod Taylor is playing well, but the weeks that Shady doesn't rush for 100 yards, he's catching 6, 7, 8 balls. And so I felt like LaShawn McCoy would be or is the MVP to this point. Playoff team besides the Patriots. We know the Patriots are going. Is there another playoff team?
I have the Bills. Bills going as the second team. I mean, look at this way. They have 2 games with the Dolphins, and we know where they're at right now. A game with the Jets and a game with the Colts. I mean, that pushes them up to 9 wins right there, I feel. And,
I'm with you on that, but they also faced the Chiefs on the road and the Patriots twice. And they played the Chargers and the Saints, which won't be pushover games. So it's tough.
I say no.
Kev?
If there is one, I'll go with the Bills. We've seen this from them before, though. They start off, hot and then fade down the stretch. But for some reason, this year seems different. They're undefeated at home. They're playing well both sides of the ball. So I'll give them a nod. As long as the Ravens get that 6th seed, I'm good.
All right. Let's get to our Brexit Bootbag winner, Red O. Who is it?
The Brexit Bootbag Award winner is Mr. Robert C. McNair, better known as Bob, Cheddar Bob, owner of the Houston Texans. Before I tell the story of what happened, why he's the award winner, I want everybody to think objectively. So you need to forget a few facts. Just forget these facts. I'm about to tell you what they are. 1, he was born in Forest City, North Carolina in 1937. Forest City in 2017 is rated the number 6 most racist city in North Carolina. So just imagine what it was in 1937.
Oh my!
You got to forget that fact though. So he moved from there to Texas. Texas was voted the number 3 state in America as the most racist state in America, behind only Alabama and Mississippi.
Oh, only them two.
Yes. You got to forget that fact because that's home sweet home. Number 3, you also need to forget that he contributed over $1 million to number 45's campaign.
Makes sense.
So, as league ambassadors, we pride ourselves on thinking objectively, and we try not to confirm our bias before all the facts are heard. So keep that in mind. At a recent meeting of NFL owners and league executives regarding the player protests, Texans owner Cheddar Bob warned his fellow owners the league should avoid having inmates running the prison, referring to NFL players. The meeting took place last week in New York, one day after a small group of owners met with a handful of players about the ongoing protests and the differences and what's going on between Trump and everything that's going on, and what they can do to move forward together. So, I mean, personally, I would love to be a fly on the wall at any NFL's owners meeting with a bunch of old, rich, privileged white men say when no one is around. We would all love to hear that. The problem is there was a black man there, Troy Vincent.
Troy Vincent.
And he was the only one who got up and he said he was offended. Eventually he apologized to him, but that's the only reason why we even know what happened. It's because Troy Vincent spoke up. So after that, it became public, and his own team, his inmates, revolted, and they all kneeled except for maybe 4 players. And the NFL thought they were at a point where they were going to get past it, and now it's brought it back to the forefront. So because of that, Mr. Bob, Cheddar Bob, is the Brexit Bootbag Award winner.
No golf clap for
I'm
that.
not clapping.
No, we're not clapping for that. All right. Before we get out of here, we've got a new segment that we want to introduce.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I'm excited about this one. We've got initials for it, but I'm going to just say what it is. If you are in social media at all or any sort of text shorthand, you know what get the fuck out of here with that bullshit is. And that's our segment, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Now, compared to the Brexit Bootbag, this is for on the field transgressions that are utterly ridiculous. And our first nominee, Dad, is who?
James Jim Caldwell. And whoever the play caller is for the fucking Detroit
Jim
Lions.
Bob Cooter!
Jim Bob Cooter.
So
It's the greatest fucking name ever.
Sunday night, the Lions were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it was a competitive game. They could move the ball in the defense, but they just could not score. So they were trailing 13-12 with 4 minutes and 31 seconds left in the third quarter. And they had the ball at the 1 yard line. 4 minutes and 31 seconds in the third quarter. They got stopped. And they decided, instead of kicking a field goal, to go up. They went for the touchdown. They got stopped. 3 plays later, there was a 97-yard touchdown to Juju. So now it was 20-12.
That's right.
So then they're in the fourth quarter. They get stopped again inside the 10. Mm-hmm. They kick a field goal this time, cutting it to 20-15. Mm-hmm. Then they stop the vaunted offense of the Steelers, and they get the ball back. And with 3 minutes left in the game, they're in the red zone with 3 timeouts.
Oh, man. With a field goal kicker that's already made 5 field goals.
Already made 5.
Already.
They get stopped. It's 4th and 7. And what do? Do they kick a field goal to cut it to 2? With 3 minutes left? Well, it was 2 minutes at this point. They had a 2-minute warning and 3 timeouts. No, they go for it. And they get stopped.
Yep.
And then they give the ball up, and they had a third down to stop the Steelers, had them stopped. Nope. Defensive holding, first down, run the ball, game over, and fuck the Lions because we needed that.
James Caldwell, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit,
The
baby.
fuck out of here with that bullshit.
You kick the field goals, and guess what?
You win the damn game.
Oh, man.
Hey, Pete Carroll, how you doing?
All right, we've got to get to our Week 9 fantasy recommendations and
Hey.
our game picks.
Yes, game over, baby.
Did the Dodgers win?
Dodgers won.
Yes! All right. Kansas City versus Dallas. Dallas at home. No Ezekiel Elliott. Kev, who you got?
I'm going with the Chiefs.
What?
I'm going with the Chiefs because. Wait, what did I miss?
Nothing.
Yeah. He's still
okay.
amped that the
I'm
Dodgers
going with
won.
Chiefs because it's their second week playing against. It's the Cowboys' second week playing against some indigenous people who have been incorrectly named by forces that be in this country, and I don't think the Cowboys can keep up with the Chiefs' offense on that turf.
Okay.
I agree.
Redo.
Casey.
Dad.
Chiefs.
Les.
Chiefs.
You're all on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Don't do it again.
Yeah, you
Oh,
don't
no,
have
do
to
it again.
last
Do it
time.
again.
I am.
Do it again.
No, I'm taking the Cowboys. I look for them to play inspired football without Ezekiel Elliott just this one game.
Dodgers won.
Jason Garrett, get him inspired this one game. Also, which is another another reason why it's bad timing for Ezekiel's suspension. That Dallas defense, David Irving, dope smoker, DeMarcus Lawrence, dope smoker. Those guys are getting to the quarterback. Jalen Smith with the drop foot, balling.
Game 7.
High school offense is getting the ball out quick. They getting screwed.
Denver, Philadelphia, Junior Blue. Who you got?
Philly.
You got Philly.
Philly all day.
Philly all day with the new toy and Jay Ajayi. Dad.
The team who doesn't have Trevor Siemian.
Okay. Redo.
The Dodgers. Oh, I mean, Philly.
Philly. Denver. Kev.
I'm going with Philly.
Going with Philly.
Do
Jesus.
it.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, I'm not going with.
Oh,
I'm going.
okay.
I'm going with Philadelphia.
Thought you was trying to catch up.
No. No, I did. It was a Freudian slip. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going with Philadelphia for sure. Carolina, Atlanta. This is the third straight game on the road for the Atlanta Falcons. They don't look good. I'm definitely taking
Neither does the other team.
right, but I'm taking Carolina at home though.
That brand new dome leaking and the roof don't work.
Junior Blue, you taking?
Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Who they
hated
gonna throw the ball to?
I hated picking this game,
Uh huh.
but just for the simple fact that both are terrible, I'm going with the home team.
Yeah, the home team. That's all I said.
it.
Redo.
Dodgers in 7.
All right.
Atlanta.
Kev.
I'm so disappointed in the Falcons, but I'm picking them. They won the last 3 in this matchup, and I don't think it'll change on Sunday.
All right, fantasy recommendations. We've got our records for the game picks. We're still pretty close. Omar, you're fading back a little bit. Hang with the pack.
Oh, I had a horrible week.
Don't drift on us.
I was real close until this week.
Okay, I've got Drew Brees and Michael Thomas on the double up going against Tampa Bay. And then my AFC East MVP to this point, LaShawn McCoy, on Thursday night against the Jets. The Jets are worst in the league in terms of running back yardage before first contact. Dad, who you got?
Also have, for selfish reasons, Mr. Breeze going against that defense. I got Hopkins versus Indy.
DeAndre
Trash.
Hopkins was working Richard Sherman out.
Yeah. And for the double up, my flex is Fuller.
Will Fuller.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I got.
Drew Brees, DeAndre Hopkins, and Will Fuller.
I got Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, he has Houston.
Fuller. I have Houston. But I have the 2 wide receivers because in fantasy last week they murdered everybody.
Hey.
Fuller had 27.
They're going against Indy.
Yeah.
I think Will Fuller has 7 catches, 7 touchdowns.
13 receptions, 7 touchdowns.
13 catches, 7 touchdowns. Kev, who you got?
I'm going with Alex Smith against the Cowboys, Leonard Fournette against Cincinnati. He's back. And Larry Fitz against the 49ers. He destroys them.
I forgot Larry Fitz is
Oh,
playing
shit.
football.
Oh, my God.
Who's throwing the ball to him though?
Drew Stanton.
No idea.
I got
She still picked him.
I got Deshaun Watson versus the Colts.
Okay.
Amari Cooper break out again against the Dolphins.
That's a wish and a prayer.
And Kareem Hunt versus Cowboys.
You guys really don't like the Cowboys defense, huh?
Nah.
All right, well, we'll see. Let's get out of here. We thank you for visiting 32
I
Kings
think
Road.
it's more you don't like the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
I
that's what
don't.
it is.
You're right. I don't. Thank you for visiting 32 Kings Road. Please follow us everywhere on social media. Our handle is @TheLeagueAM. Shout out to the Los Angeles Dodgers for forcing a Game 7.
Game 7, baby.
Visit our website, theleagueam.com, our YouTube channel, League Ambassadors.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. And hey, guys, congratulations. This is our 32nd episode of 32 Kings Road, man. And we're still hanging in there. Dropped ambassadors and everything else. Shout out to Seagram's Gym. Cheerio.
Cheers, mate.
Won't he do it when you need him?
Where's your blood? Where's your blood?
When your family won't come around.
Crown of thorns and ain't bleeding. Took the bird nest out the tree out front.
7 names, no games as I run it down the line. We got Kenny Ken put 100 on a tease with the streak for the cash. ESPN. Seth Curry with the shot. The prodigy. In reality, he's mowed like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, L-Dad or Dirt Ass Dan. Just don't ask him a question, cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the Buck Wild Problem Child.
Flow Butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the league ambassadors, and we playing to win at the 2-yard line. And make no mistake, we running it in.